I am strongly questioning who Sony San Diego asked for new features in franchise mode, because from what I'm seeing, we're getting a slightly souped up version of what has been in March to October, which apparently the free agency has been changed the last 3-4 years over into franchise, and I highly doubt anybody ever asked for this. Let's address the big ass elephant in the room. Online franchise needs to be a mandatory thing at this point. It is 2025. I'm not even one of those people that's like that gung ho about it, but it needs to be a thing. Every other major sports game has it. Custom leagues is never going to be it. I can't play with a custom roster. I can't go beyond one season. What is even the point? It plays more like fantasy baseball, which is fine that you can play it out, but a full franchise online mode, though the standalone offline one needs some major fixes. Here's a positive. I do like that players have motivation to them. Don't think it's completely there, because a player who might have a secondary position. Take, for instance, I'm still confused as to why Vlad Guerrero has third base as a secondary position when he hasn't played third base in... take that back. He did play last year at third base. Probably not very many appearances. He played 12 games at third. He played 2 games, one in 2021 and one in 2022, and he played 96 when he first came up in 2019. He's not really a third baseman, but at this point, I'm going to give it to him. How much the man asked for? Why is the player starting out lowballing themselves? If age is a factor, if age is a huge factor, because most MLB players that go into free agency are anywhere between like 28 and 35. Most players have their MLB debut at around 27. If you're a better player, or if a team is willing to have a longer fish line for you, they will let you play and see how you play out. Jason Dominguez is going to be probably one of the prime examples, as he just turned 22, mapped that out 6 years. He wouldn't be a outright free agent till 28, though I can absolutely see the Yankees looking to extend him in 4 years or less. Positive. Teams are not just gonna attempt to go sign the top free agent just because they have budget, especially if they are not in a market where it might make sense. I don't have an issue with the small teams looking to get better. It's just, it's almost never that quick. It's never a one-off season thing. San Diego didn't get better in just one off season. It took them a couple years, and even then, they've kind of been up and down for a variety of reasons. Kansas City has risen themselves as one of the better teams in the American League through the draft, savvy signings, and savvy trades. In 2024, the offseason, they actually spent the second most money out of any team in the league, right behind the $1 billion Dodgers, whereas the Royals spent like a little over 100 million. So it's a good thing that big market logic is in there. I do like that teams will come out of the woodwork, and whether it's true or false, they will feign like they're going to put out an offer out there, especially your division rivals. Say the Houston Astros and the Rangers are looking at the same player that I have been. You'll go about getting a prompt that the team is offering them something, and you can either do something about it as far as raising your offer because you're genuinely interested, or you can raise your offer just to get them to raise their offer. You're essentially bluffing. It's more or less poker, except you know what their hand is, money-wise at least. Trade logic still looks sus at best. The trade that they showed on screen was, I believe the user was the Seattle Mariners, and they were trading Julio Rodriguez. No, there are not no trade clauses. No, there are not mid-contract opt-outs, which Julio Rodriguez has both of. And it just doesn't exactly make sense. Gunnar Henderson is still, I believe, under arbitration, if I remember correctly. Take that back. He's on renewal up until 2026, and then he gets arbitration 27, 28, 29, outright free agent after the 29 World Series. And I get that this was a hypothetical, and the trade didn't look too crazy, but you could have added untouchables, no trade clauses to contracts. I'm sure y'all could have did this. Something where the price for a player is just going to have to be astronomical. Take into consideration Mike Trout has been talked about getting traded for probably the last couple of years, but because he has a no trade clause, you could have added something in there where players are like, I'm not looking to move. Hell, Nolan Arenado has a no trade clause. The Cardinals want to trade him, but the teams that Nolan wants to go to, or at least he has outright expressed that he wants to go to, don't want him. So as far as I'm concerned, Nolan Arenado was going to be a Cardinal, at least in the franchise that I put out on my YouTube channel. He's going to stay a free agent. I will do 30-team control as within reason as I possibly can, because I can see free agency being wonky in a 30-team control realm. I might just allow the CPU to do whatever they want in said off season, and if I can reverse trades, I will. Another positive, players, when you are in the midst of trying to sign them, will circle back to you and see if you will offer them more. Are they playing you against another team, or are they genuinely wanting to go to your team, but they just feel like they need more to really break some of that motivation? I don't like the fact that get to offer on a day of the week and then you have to wait an entire week. There might be other moves I could pull off, signing some minor leaguers. Understandably, yes, I can make a trade probably at any point during said week, but to keep breaking this thing down just seems to prove the biggest thing you guys have put in this game has been phases. Phases. You put phases in like MLB the Show 18, 19, and I get that that acts as a checkpoint so you don't skip past the draft. So you don't skip past the trade deadlines. You don't skip past the All-Star game, though the All-Star festivities has shrunk considerably, being as there are no minor league games, which is very strange. I didn't expect for there not to be minor league All-Star games outside of the Futures game. And even then, for most of its existence in MLB the Show, it has been wonky. I've seen major league players actually in those games and they had no business being there. You ain't the future. You had your chance. They slyly mentioned that they went through historical data. They didn't specify how far back. I wouldn't expect them to have gone any further than maybe 10 to 15 years ago, if even that much. And they based what essentially amounts to positional max contracts, which I absolutely hate the idea of because Major League Baseball is not going in that direction. So why are you restricting how much you can give a player to 25% of, I guess, what the historical max has been? So their example was Vladimir Guerrero wanted 26 and some change $million. The max that a player had asked for was 30. I'm going to assume that's probably Pete Alonso, maybe Freddie Freeman a couple years ago. Either way, the max contract you could offer is whatever 25% of, say, 30 million is, which is like $37.5 million. Vlad Guerrero is going to be 26 as a free agent. Yes, he plays first base, and they tried to play that into how the contract would eventually be structured. That's too much hand-holding. You're telling us exactly how much they want. You're telling us exactly what the max is in a sport that has no cap. Now, if you want to give us the luxury tax thresholds with crossing over into the Cohen tax bracket, where you're paying 100%, you're paying dollar for dollar what you spent over. You're paying extra on top of that. You need to give us a financial system, a revenue system that makes some sense, though I know MLB teams are awful at this. They don't exactly tell you how much they're spending and where their spending is going because they know the backlash will be there. They'll be like, yo, what are y'all spending money on? I'm spending money on this and money on that. Probably just burning it at this point. But the biggest thing for this video game is that it needs to matter. And it didn't really feel like it mattered when it was in the game from about 07 through 2013. I could jack up the ticket prices, people are still gonna show up. I could be the White Sox of last year and people will still show up. Why? Why the hell would they do that? The Oakland Athletics. If I jacked up the prices like they actually did for their final season, yes, some fans showed up. They knew they were leaving. Why don't we have things in the game that matter? And I'm not saying that the logic does not matter. It helps. It is going in the right direction. But you said depth. You got to give me more than just player motivations. Let's bring back a full morale system where all kinds of actions matter. Who your coaching staff is. Make the coaches matter. Minor leagues don't have coaches at all. You think the farm director is really out here influencing all 28 players at AAA, 26 at AA, and those in A-ball, which, how have we not gotten A-ball back in the game, dog? Take that back. It has never been in MLB the Show. It was in MVP Baseball 20 years ago. I understand that Major League Baseball, the entity itself, is looking to contract the minors even more, but they could at least represent it in the game until they do so. And I don't even agree with that, because minor league baseball is still a big thing. People still go. I attend way more minor league games than I ever do major league games. A-ball is literally a void. You just stick players down there. Do they get better? We have no idea. Training. That is something you need to have overhauled ages ago. It has never been clear how it works at all. How long are you putting these players in there? Are they even doing what they need to be doing? Can I get a little bit of a report? Hey, this guy's doing well in training. Something? I can almost guarantee you that if I draft a player who does like gangbusters in their rookie year, maybe not even their rookie year, second year, third year, if they're a young enough player, is their potential gonna jump up to make sense? If I end up with a rookie that has like a Fernando Tatis type rookie year, 40 home runs, and it's just straight dogging out the league, I need to see that reflected in your progression and regression system, but that's never the case. It's never been the case. Players will tank, even if I can almost guarantee, not even almost, I will guarantee you that Justin Verlander, I don't even know where y'all gonna have him as far as just, I'm gonna say strictly overall, he might be 80, a 79, something like that. By the end of the season, he will be a 52. He will be a 52 even if he pitches every single game. And I get that age should be a factor, but it doesn't have to be a factor on every single attribute. I would give him a benefit of the doubt in a sense, and I know y'all will do that. Y'all will give him a potential just to try to keep him from just straight falling off a cliff with his ratings, as he did state he wants to pitch until he can get his 300th win. I don't actually think he'll do it in real life. I figure at some point his wife gonna want him to come home. Clayton Kershaw is a different situation. Still an all-time great pitcher, but he is much further removed from that. Injuries are really a big reason why we haven't seen him pitch. So he hasn't pitched. He pitched some last year, he pitched some the year before that. I don't think he's been a full-time starter since 2022. Are players that are drafted, are they coming in with quirks, or are they still just empty shells who have attributes? Because last year, y'all got rid of a lot of quirks that would help set up future MLB the Show seasons. Once you get beyond most of current day players are out of the league, sure, you'll have occasionally some players that break out, but these players don't seem unique in any real way. First off, their faces all look half the same. That is bonkers with the type of facial morphing you can do in the game. But the players themselves, how do you not come in with a quirk? I could create a cat that has 95 speed, but you don't have anything that showcases, hey, this guy is a fast player outside of the attribute. Maybe when I hit the D-pad, I want to be able to see, boom, fast guy. All right, cool. Boom, this guy's got good reaction. Boom, this guy's a good fielder. Boom, this guy is a home run hitter. Not because of his power, but because he's actually hit 20, 25, 30 home runs. These minor league players, I get having a lot of them have low to absolutely terrible overalls because you want to kind of keep some of the older players in the league, but you can't exactly keep the older players in the league if you don't inflate their potential. And training doesn't seem to matter, and the minors don't seem to matter. I'm very sure that minor league stats for the 20th year in a row will not stick on a player card beyond a year. And that's pathetic. We are in an era where we have terabyte hard drives. These systems can handle much more than y'all think, yet so limited. Y'all talk about depth, but let's be real. Only ants would consider this puddle deep.